friends, welcome back to Bucket List Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn, and we're going to do some meals of the week. I'm not sure how many you will see. I'm going for at least 4 out of these next few days. We shall see. And tonight is a brand new recipe. I am trying to get caught back up on the recipes I was trying for the month of January before the plague hit us all here in the house. And it is from my Freeze It cookbook from Taste of Country. It's called Sausage Tortellini Soup. I'm not following the recipe exactly because one, I don't have everything, and it calls for cabbage, and that's just not something we like. I don't mind it as coleslaw, but in a soup and things, it's definitely something David doesn't like. So instead of adding a small can of tomatoes, I just added a large can. So I just have it over on the pot right now, covered, and I need to bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna simmer it for 8 minutes, and then we'll add the cheese tortellini. I'm gonna take a drink of my tea. As I was saying, this is a recipe that was originally right here on the meal plan for January during the pantry challenge, the 3 Rivers Pantry Challenge, and then the plague hit, so I am going back to trying them, mainly because I haven't got a whole lot of meal planning done this week. We are definitely feeling better, but we are still sluggish and tired. Dave and I both find that we can't laugh, or if we need to yell, you know, if we're upstairs and we need to yell downstairs, we can't. Our lungs just aren't doing it. I had to go for a mammogram a couple of days ago, and you know how you have to hold your breath? I had a very hard time doing that for as long as she needed me to, just because I'm still fighting something. And my get up and go has gone up and went. I'm having a hard time just trying to find the energy to do things. I don't know if it's just the winter blahs, if it's just recuperating from that flu, if it's just, I don't know. It could be a combination of all those. So I'm hoping I find it this week. I really am. So like I said, sausage tortellini soup. I will share the link down below with of the recipe. Hopefully I can find the exact link. If not, I will type it all out and put it down below. And we are going to test it and see. I'm surprised we're making soup because we've been sick of soup. But we actually haven't had it for a while, but we lived on it when we were sick, David and I. That was definitely our go-to. So I'm just waiting for that, like I said, to come to a boil. Then we'll let it simmer for 8 minutes, and then we're going to add the best part, I think, is the cheese tortellini. So I'm now going to add... The recipe calls for 9.5 ounces of the cheese tortellini. This is way more than that, so I'm gonna do about half of this, and then I'll put the other half in a freezer bag and we'll eat it for lunch or something later this week. So, we will cook this for about another 5 to 7 minutes. We'll know when all the tortellini start floating to the top that they're done. And I hope, sorry if you hear noise behind me, Grace is running the air fryer. So we'll see you back here when David and I try this new recipe. This is one of the prettiest soups, I have to say, that I have made. Look at that. Of course, part of that is the cheese tortellini because we buy the rainbow one, but it is very, very hot. It smells really good. And I'm just gonna get a little bit here with the tortellini. Right? Mmm. Oh, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
Oh my goodness, that is a winner. I have to tell you, friends, this cookbook, which is part of the giveaway for Freeze It February, so make sure you are watching all those videos and commenting for your chance to win this. So far, every recipe I've made out of this has been amazing. Like 10 out of 10, we really like them. They're going into the family recipes. We'll definitely be using them more often and chopping it a little bit with that Parmesan. Oh my goodness, this is delicious. And This is also obviously a freezer meal because that's from the freezer recipe cookbook. You just wouldn't put the Parmesan on top before you freeze it. You would do that when you heat it up. But this is delicious, which I probably will be freezing a good portion of this into containers, and then David can take it for lunch, or I can heat it up for lunch, but I really like it. I will share the recipe down below. I will tell you I tweaked the recipe because we did not have French onion soup. It's not something I have. So I just used 2 jars of my homemade beef broth, which quite frankly were a little oniony anyway because I had a lot of onions I had to throw in with that batch. So it kind of is French onion. Again, I said we don't like cabbage, so I didn't put that in, and I just put a bigger can of tomatoes in, but it's delicious. I don't even find it needs any salt because the Parmesan's salty, the sausage is salty, the cheese and the ravioli. It's perfect. So we'll see you back here tomorrow night for a new recipe.
Ooh, hot chocolate. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button.
Hey, who took my hot chocolate?
Make sure you hit the bell so that you don't miss any new videos. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button.
Tonight for supper and our next meal of the week is a new recipe, and it is from the Barefoot Contessa in a Garden. This is her family style cookbook. It's a very simple recipe. It's gonna dirty up a few dishes though, I will say. And one of the things that you need for this recipe is breadcrumbs. I didn't have any, but I always throw, when we're down to like a few pieces of bread or I don't think we're gonna eat it all, I throw it in the freezer and I can turn it into breadcrumbs or French toast or whatever. So I just used my Ninja here processing part, and I had way more than I needed. And I blitzed them all. I toasted them up a bit because they were a little damp from being in the freezer. And yeah, so I got them all blitzed up. So there they are. And I also added some basil and some oregano because the recipe calls for seasoned breadcrumbs. I have no idea what seasoned breadcrumbs are, I'm gonna be honest, but I figure I like basil and oregano with chicken. So that's what I went with. So I put like maybe a big heaping tablespoon of each in here. And then the recipe calls for about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. This is for 6 chicken breasts. I'm only doing 4. So yeah, so there's our breadcrumbs. And you're gonna need 2 eggs, beat up, and roughly half a cup of flour. So obviously, like I said, you're gonna use a lot of dishes. And then on this plate that I've also dirtied is 4 chicken breasts that I have pounded out to whatever thickness or thinness you want. She says I think like a 1/4 inch thick, I think she put in her cookbook, and all we're gonna do is, you guessed it, we're going to, I gotta get them in the order though. So we are going to dip flour first. Flour first? That's weird. Flour first, then egg. I want to make sure I am getting this. Flour, egg, and then the breadcrumbs of Parmesan. And I have my casserole dish here. She also fried these on the oven. I'm baking them. And that's it. I'm really looking forward to this. This one sounds really good, and I really think this is going to be a recipe David likes. So, all right, let's get dipping. I obviously underestimated how large these chicken breasts were when they pounded them out, so I put them into a bigger casserole dish. So they're gonna go into the oven for 20 minutes, and we gotta go look in the store and see what we're gonna have for sides with this. Okay, so I know we're gonna have some green beans from the store, and we have not had carrots for a while, so I think we're gonna do a big jar tonight because I'm in the mood for some carrots. The chicken just came out. Looks amazing and it smells amazing. I'm just heating up our vegetables and then we will try this new recipe. Okay, we are going to try this new recipe. Boy, it smells amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure the chicken's done. Yeah, the temperature was more than enough, so.
Okay.
That chicken's juicy. Mmm. Needs a little more salt. But that's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm sure if I'd fried it in the frying pan, it would have been crispier. But I didn't want to do that. But it's not bad. So there is tonight's supper for meals of the week, we're gonna go eat. Tonight's meal for meals of the week is a little something different. It's Valentine's Day, so for the whole family, we went and got Chinese food. And that is gonna be our supper for tonight. Supper for meals of the week is from this new cookbook I picked up at a thrift store a little while ago, and it's Family Meals: Creating Traditions in the Kitchen by Maria Helm-Sinsky, and it's published by Williams and Sonoma. I've been reading through it. It has some great recipes, and I'm gonna say it's a new recipe, but it's kind of the way we're having steak fajitas tonight, and this recipe is kind of the way I make them, but I followed her measurements. Now, two things. One, we don't have like any ancho chilies or however you say that, those hot peppers. I don't have anything of that because we don't, you all know, we don't like really spicy foods. And I'm only going to have peppers with our steak. So is it really fajitas? I guess. Because the onion I was also going to add, a nice beautiful purple onion I bought today. I went to cut it up and it was absolutely rotted and really gross in the middle. I've never seen an onion look like this. Like, it was gross. Even David was like, what is that? So no onion, which I'm sure is not going to upset David. But so I started a good 3-4 hours ago. I sliced up all my steak. We're using strip loin steaks because that's what I had, and I cut them into thin pieces, and we're also using peppers from the freezer, so I didn't have to cut any peppers up. So in the bowl I added 4 tablespoons of olive oil, she asked for 3 cloves of garlic, but I decided to just did garlic powder, so I added I think a tablespoon here, and it's supposed to be 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I almost put 3 in, so it's just 2 tablespoons. And I mix that all up, put the steak in, put it in the refrigerator until it was time for supper, and now it's time for supper. So over here on the stove, I have my cast iron pan heating up with some oil, or will be once I turn it on, because it's funny how that works. You need to turn it on. I'm heating up some oil. I just drained my peppers really, really good, like a couple of times that were in the freezer. I'm gonna cook them up, and here's our steak out of the refrigerator. Cook them up. I've got some tortillas, got some cheese, and easy supper, but it's actually one of our favorites. So easy supper tonight. I'm gonna cook the peppers for a few minutes. Normally if I had peppers and onions and everything, I'd cook them all together and then take them out of the pan and then cook the steak, but I'm just gonna cook these for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna add the steak, just to save me a little bit of time tonight. Maybe 4 minutes. I might let these cook for 4 minutes. Okay, it's time for the taste test. Ready? Mmm. Good.
Oh. Boy, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's really good, actually. I like that. So I'll definitely be making that one again. And it really tenderizes the steak. Like, that steak is really, I mean, it's a good cut of steak too, but lots of flavor. It's really good. It's one of our favorites. That's it, friends. That is our last meal of the week, because tomorrow night is pizza night here. You've seen me make my pizza a million times. And the weekend is usually just cleaning out the refrigerator. So couple new recipes I'm excited to share with you all. They were all really good. So I'll make sure to link them all down below. If I can find links for the actual recipes, I'll do my best. Until then, take care, God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.